Welcome to my travel podcast, Life's a Beach. My passenger this week on Life's a Beach is a very good friend of mine. We've worked together, we've laughed together, we've partied together, we've cried together, and today on Alan Air, we are back together.
Okay, as promised, here you have it. It's Melanie Sykes' appearance on the Alan Carr podcast. Now, I know there's a lot of people watching me from the US and Australia.
Can you hear me, Australia?
New Zealand, South Africa, Canada. So just briefly for you people, Alan Carr is a TV and radio presenter in England who became famous in the 2000s when it was very, very acceptable to be sort of a cant man. It was in no way groundbreaking or shocking in 2005 in the UK to see a very cant man on TV. If anything, it was a cliche. But that was his angle. That's how he got his foot in the door. That's my personality. As he presented the shit Friday Night Project on Channel 4 with his mate, Justin Lee Collins, who also mistakenly believed that he could make up for his lack of a personality with a Bristolian accent and a big shaggy beard. No, you're just annoying. God, words can't describe how much I hated the Friday Night Project. It was just the most contrived piece of shit. They did this massive campaign before it came on. It was like, you know that episode of The Simpsons with Gabbo? Gabbo, Gabbo, Gabbo! It was like this big thing they were building up for ages, and it was just some shit puppet show. That is what the Friday Night Project was. They tried to make it the coolest thing in the world. There's a big gay guy, and there's a man with a shaggy beard, and we've got bands. They'd invite anyone who was in the gossip pages, you know, they'd invite them on as guests, and they'd have nothing to say, and the two presenters were basically soulless. It was just it was the worst thing I have ever seen. And so in a way, when Justin Lee Collins was unfortunately convicted for harassing his ex-girlfriend back in 2010. Most people took away from that, you know, they kind of felt sad, let down. Oh, it's such a shame, you know, a talented young presenter is throwing his career away. To me, that wasn't what I was thinking at all. I felt that trial wasn't really his ex-girlfriend. It was the people versus Justin Lee Collins, because we'd been harassed by him for the best part of the past 15 years. But I guess that's just me. Anyway, I've kind of gone off on a tangent there, because this video has nothing to do with the Friday Night Project or even Justin Lee Collins. No, it's about Melanie Sykes' appearance on Alan Carr's podcast. And Melanie Sykes, for those of you who don't know, is an ex-model, TV and radio presenter who was first brought to the public's attention in the UK in the 1990s when she was the sexy young girl with the Manchester accent on the Boddington's beer ads.
Do you want a flake in that, love?
Oh, humanity really hit its creative peak around that time, didn't it? Just a few short years later, we had the fucking Friday Night Project.
She's written the most wonderful memoir. It's ferociously honest.
Ooh, now that's the question. Is Melanie Sykes' memoir, as Alan Carr says, ferociously honest? Or is it a pack of lies?
Candid, as you'd expect. Autism and all the things I've left unsaid. It is a real eye-opener.
Yeah, so that's the title of Melanie Sykes' book. Autism and all of the things I've left unsaid. More like all of the things I never bothered to say, because why would I? Because I was a successful model, TV and radio presenter. How convenient that now the work has dried up, I'm suddenly autistic in my 50s. Call me a cynic, but if it was just the autism, first of all, even if it is just the autism, why would you need a diagnosis when you're 50 and you've had such a successful career and you're this bubbly, outgoing, fun person that everyone seems to get along with and whatever? I don't know why you would go to a doctor saying, "What's wrong with me? Why am I so successful and fun?" Really extroverted and all the rest of it. But the weird thing is, in this podcast, she claims to have a load of other things as well as autism, which is, it's just really weird. Let's get into it.
This is the final boarding call for Melanie Sykes. This is the final boarding call for Melanie Sykes. Final boarding call for Melanie Sykes. Melanie! Melanie! Melanie!
the hell was that?
Okay, so let's hear what they say about the book.
Because your book, Autism and All the Things I've Left Unsaid,
Yes.
is so good.
Thank you.
And there's a lot of travel in it. And it's sort of, well, this is what I took from it. The first half of your life, it was very partying, you know, you were modelling, cigarette, lettuce leaves and all that you get with mod. No, it was. I mean, Paris and all that. And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
Now, I know I'm going to get slaughtered in the comments, but tell me something that sounds less like an autistic adolescence, young adulthood, than partying in Paris with models. I mean, that just is not what we associate with autistic people. Sorry, but that's not the way. That's not what I think of when I think of autistic people. I don't think of that. I can hear the tapping of keyboards all over the land as I speak. You're wrong on this one, Danny. Autistics love partying in Paris with models. It's their favourite thing to do. Yeah, I don't care if she's literally autistic. I don't care if she fits the medical definition. It's just, to me, it seems a bit strange that people, particularly like her, very successful, very outgoing, lots of friends, lots of partying, lots of, you know, fun things that have happened to her in her life, and then suddenly in her 50s she becomes obsessed. She wants to define herself. People need to define themselves. They need a definition. They need a label for all of their quirky behavior. And it's like, if anything, it's just going to be an excuse. You know, you'll just go in the middle of a conversation and someone will say, oh shit, why are you doing that? And you'll go, oh sorry, I'm autistic. No, don't scream at me.
And then in the end, it's more about your spiritual well-being and everything. Because I remember the first time you came back from India, you were buzzing, weren't you?
I was a different person.
Yeah.
It changed me forever.
Oh, I just can't stand it. I can't. She's one of those people, isn't it? India changed me. It's like my wife. Me and my wife went to India, actually. And I'll tell you what, it changed me too. Do you know what it changed? My gut bacteria. I was shitting through the eye of a needle for a month afterwards. That's how it changed me. My wife to this day talks about how great it was. You know, oh, we've got to go back. No. I'll tell you what, the whole time I was in India, do you know what I was thinking? It was like one of those things where you say to God, get me out of here alive and I will build a church in your honor. Like, it was one of those, just anything. Just let me get out of here. I saw dead bodies, human feces, cows are there, raccoons. Did you know that? If you haven't been to India, there's just cows like rummaging through the trash. Yeah, and they're sacred there, so they don't... They don't kill them with, you know, poison like you would. I imagine the poison you'd have to put down to kill cows. Jesus. No, but they just sort of shoo them away. Get away, right? It's insane. The poverty, the mess. I could go on, but I feel I may be cancelled by an entire nation, and it's a big one.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be interesting. Obviously, my mum's from there and going back to that sort of area and actually finding where she lived and all the things that happened when we went. But I felt like I was at home.
Yeah.
And it's so extraordinary when that happens and you're very far from home.
Yes, very typical of an autistic person. You know, you go away to a strange foreign land and you feel really at home and comfortable. Autistic people love India, you idiots, Danny. Yeah.
Because I read this in here. Luckily for me, it's about on radio. My first pairing on the show was with Ali Jones. We had a good rapport, even though we're not to diminish our chemistry in the way. I do get on with most people. You have to be a complete twat for me not to be able to find common ground with you.
Very autistic again, you know. You have to be an absolute twat for me not to be able to find some common ground with you. I get on with most people. I had great rapport with my co-hosts. Very autistic. I know I haven't convinced all of you yet, but you're going to see she says one thing after another that just to me proves... I don't know if it proves that she's not autistic, but I just don't see the point in lumping Melanie Sykes, beautiful TV presenter, radio presenter, model, in with people who are sat at home rocking backwards and forwards because somebody moved a book off the shelf. You know, it's not helping anything, right? And I know I sound so ignorant about everything, but I'm basically right, and you know I'm right. Okay, so get your hands off the keyboards and, well, no, don't. because the comments help with the algorithm. Tell me. Give it to me.
Although that did happen several times with various future pairings. So I hope I won't, because when I read that, I was like, oh, shit.
No. I couldn't fake it for that long. And we were together for a really long time. It was over a decade, for fuck's sake. Can you swear on this? Sorry.
You can.
Oh, good. That's good. But I'll try not to, because I've just discovered I have Tourette's, really, as well.
Just discovered that I have Tourette's, really, as well. Amazing. Is this not diminishing the experience of people with Tourette's? You know, people who have Tourette's, right? Proper Tourette's. And I know they don't all swear and stuff, so I'm not going to start saying, oh, she'd be saying fuck, right? But she kind of just did that, didn't she? She said, for fuck's sake, on a podcast where the host has already sworn and she knows it's fine to swear. He read the word twat from her book. And then she says, for fuck's sake, and says, oh, I'm sorry, I've got Tourette's. How about no?
You know, I describe in the book when I laugh at really inappropriate things.
She's just the most normal person in the world. Laughing at inappropriate things means you've got a sense of humour. Oh, God, I can't deal with this. It's just, I don't think she's lying. I don't. I've come to the conclusion after listening to this podcast a couple of times now. I don't think she's lying. I think she genuinely thinks that she's got some kind of disorder, and she can't just look around and see she's kind of the most typical person in the world.
I mean, listen, Mel, on radio too, someone would say they're having their wedding day, you'd be in tears. Someone would say the dog's put down, and then you're like sticking tissue in your mouth to stop yourself laughing.
Isn't that normal? I don't understand this inappropriate humour, or dark sense of humour. Isn't it just normal if you're hosting a radio program and you've got somebody calling in telling you about how they got their dog put down, that you know that you can't laugh and you immediately want to laugh? That seems, surely maybe I'm autistic, I don't know, but I would assume that we're more neurotypical than the psychos that cry watching the X Factor.
So listen, when you're wired a different way, aren't you?
Wired a completely different way, and I'm only just understanding. So where I used to think, what's wrong with me? Now I know it's everything that's right with me.
Yes, of course.
Because that's what makes me me, you know, and I do all right. You know what I mean? I get by and...
You see, that's what we need to tell all these savants who are there, like, counting matchsticks on the floor. You know, that we need to just tell them, it's the best thing about you, you know. You get by, you can be a model or a TV presenter or whatever, just because you've got a dark sense of humour. It didn't hold Melanie Sykes back.
Such a powerful... this is going to change people, you know.
I know.
And I would love to ask some autistic people what they find more offensive. Me getting everything wrong here about autism, or Melanie Sykes saying, oh, it never held me back.
I'll be in my room painting homo things.
And that's what you put in the book, isn't it? Your brain is often that one step ahead with your autism, that you know the punchline.
I know the punchline, so I'm laughing.
That's why you never laughed at anything I said.
I just laughed before you finished.
You're going to have to forgive my ignorance again. I'm a total ignoramus, but is getting punchlines before they've been said typical of autistics? Not the autistics I've met. Is parody and irony their forte? I mean, I know you can say to me in the comments, actually, there's lots of different traits. Yes, but what traits does Melanie have? How is she autistic?
Because I've never met anyone who reads as many books as you. You're always at an art gallery. You're always at the theatre, you know. Oh, we went to the ballet together. No, so we went to the opera together.
Oh, and what happened in the opera? She was dying. The main protagonist is dying. Yeah. And who got the giggles?
You.
Me.
She was dying of consumption.
She was taking too long. I was like, all right, hurry up now. We get the drift.
I feel a bit bad making this video because she does seem like a really fun person, and I don't want to attack her, to be honest, because as I've said earlier in the video, I don't think she's doing this on purpose. I don't think she's being deliberately... I don't think she's grifting. You know, I think she genuinely thinks she's autistic now. This is just like a thing she's taken on. If any of you have seen BoJack Horseman on Netflix, cartoon series, it's really good. And there's a character called Mr. Peanut Butter who's really extroverted. He's this Labrador dog. and he just loves everything. And he discovers that he has depression. And I thought that was a really brilliant storyline, because it's like these really open people who just are really interested in society and parties and friends and doing stuff, and then they're like, oh my God, that's just like me. I'm autistic too. It's incredible. Oh, I have such great rapport with all these autistic people who are there like, put it back on the shelf. Melanie's there like, yeah, let's put it back on the shelf. Anyway, now they go on to a new topic. They talk about how she had a fling with a gondolier man in Venice, right? And another very typical autistic person experience. I went to Venice and I met this really sexy Italian man and we had a great time.
So I was stranded in Venice, which was just extraordinary.
Yeah.
So I was able to have a little fling.
And I know you were being hounded and followed by that paparazzi. You didn't know it.
Not until the end, no.
But from the outside, looking at those pictures of you looking gorgeous, Ricardo looking, I was thinking lucky cow.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I felt really lucky. I mean, it was just the most extraordinary place. I wanted to go there my entire life. And it was everything I thought it was going to be. And I had the same feeling when I got to India. I felt like I was home.
It's another great experience from this happy-go-lucky, beautiful woman who's had a great career in television, radio and modelling. And now, you know, she felt really comfortable again, just like when she was in India. It's just the same. Venice, oh, great, Venice, Italian people. Oh, pizza, you can have pizza all the time. Oh, curry, you can have curry all the time. It's fantastic. So autistic.
Yeah.
So it's definitely somewhere I'll always go back to. I just, and also I love boats. So being on boats for me is just like so natural.
So she felt really at home in India, then really at home in Venice, and then she got on the boat, and you know what? It was really natural. I felt right at home. You know, actually, to be fair, that is the most autistic thing she's said so far. You know, they love their vehicles, don't they? You know, there's a lot of them are obsessed with trains. For some reason, trains. I guess there's some love boats as well. The kid I went to school with loved car washes. So...
How's your diagnosis affected your travel?
Well, it hasn't affected it at all.
Well, no,
I don't know what I find funnier about that. The fact that Alan Carr has suddenly remembered, oh shit, I've got to talk about travel on my podcast because it's a travel podcast, right? Or the fact that she just responded completely deadpan, completely naturally, it hasn't affected my travel at all. Of course it hasn't, because you don't have autism. And so it would suddenly affect it as well. You know, oh, you're diagnosed with autism. Oh shit, I'm autistic now, I can't fly. What the hell? Oh, what a mess.
Agoraphobia.
Oh, well, that's slightly different. Yeah. No, agoraphobia. Do you know, I tell you where.
If you're agoraphobia, so here's a rule of thumb for me. If somebody has to remind you that you've got agoraphobia, you haven't got agoraphobia. Also, it's kind of difficult to define, isn't it? Agoraphobia is, could be that you're scared of leaving your house, you're frightened of crowded places, tight spaces, or maybe just a feeling that you can't escape, like a meeting or something like that. There are all kinds of ways of defining agoraphobia, right? But if it's so mild that you don't even think about it, you don't have it. You're not living the experience of somebody who's crippled by it, who really suffers. You know what I mean? It just... Yeah, anyway, you're going to see what I mean.
So I've always been claustrophobic as well as... agoraphobia was a new friend.
She has claustrophobia and agoraphobia. She's scared of both closed spaces and open spaces. She needs to exist as a gas.
And that's been like a mountain to climb because, like you say, it happened last year and I ended up flying to the Dolomites. And
so literally a mountain to climb. Got him!
And even getting on the flight was like, I thought I was going to have a panic attack.
You and I are going to get on this fucking plane.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm working on that, and but I haven't flown anywhere lately, and I definitely want to.
Yeah, but only if you fly with Qantas, eh?
And I've never had a fear of flying. You think somebody that was feeling that sort of like closeness that I would get.
Yeah.
And I didn't ever put the two together until I got on a flight one day and there was somebody sitting across from me near the door with their head almost like just sticking out, waiting the last breath before the door closed. And I said to the stewardess, what's wrong with that person? And she said, oh, he's claustrophobic. And I thought, oh, no.
It's just like a curious Labrador. What's going on over there? Oh, he's claustrophobic. I'm claustrophobic. Oh, no, I hate planes too.
And when she said, oh, he suffers with claustrophobia, I thought, fucking hell, so do I. And then I started to feel it. And I'd never, in years of travelling, thought about the fact that I was locked in a capsule for like hours and hours on end.
I think the problem really is that she's never thought about anything. And I don't mean that in an unintelligent way. I just mean, do you never meet people who kind of just do stuff? They don't think, they're not held back by anything. They're just extremely extroverted. They say stuff. And is that autism? I don't think so. No, sir. Anyway, I think that's all I've got to say about this for today. I'll see you in the next one. Like, share, subscribe, all the rest of it. Goodbye.